At 4:30 a.m. September 28, 2025, over Belgorod, Russia, 4 American-made HIMARS missiles are already in the air, screaming through the fog at Mach 2 to 5. Launched from inside Ukraine, they are 43 miles from their target, and the Russian operators of the S-400 Triumph air defense system see exactly nothing. They are completely utterly blind, and in 90 seconds their world is going to go dark. These missiles are hurtling towards the Novyi Oskol substation. This is the light switch for Russia's war machine in the region. It pumps the juice that powers the S-400 radar, runs the fuel depots for the tank divisions, and keeps the military communications grid alive. Taking it out is a strategic decapitation. And here's how the Ukrainians are getting away with it. At the exact same moment, the American missiles are flying. A swarm of 6 Ukrainian Shark and FPV drones are skimming the treetops 50 feet below. This is the Fog Phantom Swarm. A high-tech Shark drone with a 30x thermal camera is piercing the fog, acting as the eyes for the whole operation. It's leading a pack of cheap kamikaze drones that are spitting out clouds of chaff programmed to look like a flock of birds on Russian radar. They are creating a ghost in the machine, tricking a billion-dollar Russian supercomputer with a $400 party trick, and the multi-million-dollar HIMARS launcher that fired those missiles. It's already a ghost. Following a brutal lesson learned at Pokrovsk, the crew has a 5-minute window to pack up and disappear before Russian counter-battery fire turns their location into a crater. They are long gone. At 4:31 a.m., the first American-made HIMARS missile and the Ukrainian drone swarm are just 10 miles from the target when they hit a wall. It's a digital hurricane. In the Ukrainian bunker, the screens dissolve into a blizzard of white noise. The Krasukha-4 is awake, a $50 million machine whose only job is to turn the air into a nightmare of electronic static spoofing GPS signals and scrambling communications. One of the FPV drones, now blind, lurches violently and smashes into the trees. But here's the little secret the Russians don't like to talk about: the Krasukha sucks down electricity like a Hummer guzzles gas. Run it at full power for more than 15 minutes and it has to cycle down to avoid overheating. A tiny window of opportunity that the Ukrainians have planned for. And its sophisticated filter has a blind spot. It can't tell the difference between a high-tech drone and a flock of birds. The Ukrainian operator gives the command. The Fog Phantom swarm goes live. The FPV drones, now flying low, start spitting out their pre-programmed clouds of chaff. On the Russian radar screens, the attack suddenly looks like a massive flock of birds. The Kalman filter on the Russian computer starts to choke, trying to process hundreds of false, low-priority targets. At the same time, the first HIMARS missile, now denied its GPS signal, does something brilliant. It switches to its internal inertial navigation system. It's now flying on memory and a hyper-accurate internal compass. And down below, the Shark drone, flying under the main jamming field, gets a visual on the substation through the fog. It paints the main transformer with an invisible laser beam. The laser can't be jammed. The HIMARS missile, blind to the world, now has just one job: fly to the dot. As the Russian EW officer is trying to figure out why he's being attacked by a phantom air force of pigeons, the Ukrainian HIMARS crew, now miles away, launches their second missile. The Krasukha operator, completely overwhelmed, has to reboot his system to clear the clutter. The jamming field flickers and dies. The signal is back. But that first missile launch, as quiet as it was on the ground, was a scream in the electromagnetic spectrum. It just kicked the hornet's nest. And the Panzer S-1 is awake. And its guns are turning. At 4:32 a.m., the Panzer S-1 roars. It's not the electronic hum of the Krasukha. It's the guttural sound of kinetic fury. A 57 × 10 to the power of 6 missile rips through the air at 2,300 feet per second, a streak of white-hot fire against the gray dawn. The first American-made HIMARS missile, the one flying on pure instinct and laser guidance, vanishes in a brilliant white fireball. It never knew what hit it. A stray FPV drone, too slow to evade, gets shredded by the shrapnel. In the bunker, the operator wipes a bead of sweat from his brow. 3 missiles left. Is it enough? The Panzer is a hell of a system if you're a fighter jet pilot. But for this swarm, it has 2 fatal flaws. First, the thick fog is blinding its thermal sensors. It's like finding a black cat in a dark storm. Second, it has a 2-second targeting lag. That's an eternity when you're trying to hit a 60-mile-per-hour drone that's jinking through the trees. And the biggest flaw of all physics. Those gentle rolling hills between the Panzer and the swarm aren't just scenery. They're radar-proof walls. The Ukrainian operator gives the command to exploit all of it. The swarm splits. 4 FPV drones dive for the deck, weaving through the birch forest like angry hornets. Then they start dropping flares, each one burning hotter than a Vegas bonfire, drawing the Panzer's fire. The Shark drone does the opposite. It hugs the terrain, using a small hill to hide from the Panzer's radar, while keeping its laser painter locked on the substation. The second HIMARS missile launched from the new position receives the updated laser coordinates. It adjusts its trajectory by half a degree, a 200-pound GPS-denied love letter coming in hot. The Panzer battery, now running low on ready missiles, wastes its shots on the flares. But every missile launch, every explosion, has been a dinner bell for the real monster. The S-400 Triumph is now fully awake. Its massive radar is sweeping the sky. Its supercomputer brain, capable of processing 300 targets at once, is coming online. And the HIMARS crew, they're already gone. The launcher is packed up and roaring down a dirt road, because the Russians have just figured out where they used to be. At 4:33 a.m. S-400 isn't a local defense system, it's a strategic monster, and its massive radar sweep is a death sentence. It locks onto the remaining drone swarm and the inbound American missile with contemptuous ease. A hypersonic 48N6 missile roars at Mach 14, a brutal hammer aimed at the sky. The second HIMARS missile, the one that had flawlessly navigated the radar shadow, is vaporized mid-flight. There is no explosion. Just a brief silent flash of light and then nothing. It's gone. 2 missiles down. 2 to go. The mission is now hanging by a thread. In the Russian command center, they are celebrating. They think they've won. But the S-400 has a secret fatal flaw. Its powerful supercomputer, designed to track billion-dollar fighter jets and intercontinental ballistic missiles, starts to choke on the data from 100 fake birds. Its sophisticated algorithm has a 3-second lag as it tries to solve an impossible equation. It's like your phone's autocorrect mangling a complex sentence into gibberish. Technically, it's working, but the result is a catastrophic, embarrassing failure. And while the Russian computer is having a meltdown, the Ukrainian Shark drone is playing shepherd. It herds the last few FPV drones into a tight cluster, then guides the third incoming HIMARS missile on a new path, a path that uses a low hill to create a perfect radar shadow. The S-400 is the most powerful air defense system on Earth, but it can't see through a goddamn hill. The Shark drone then does something insane. It pops up just enough to get a laser fix on the substation, letting the beam reflect off the dense fog. The third HIMARS missile, blind to everything else, sees only that shimmering, beautiful dot. It threads the needle, slipping through the S-400's net like a ghost. And the HIMARS crew, they've done it again. As the Russian computer finally pinpoints their second firing position, a volley of Russian artillery unleashes hell on an empty patch of mud. The Ukrainians are already packed up and launching their fourth and final missile from a third location. The S-400, now thoroughly confused by a sky full of phantom birds and real missiles that appear and disappear, fires 2 more multi-billion-dollar missiles at ghosts. At 4:34 a.m., the age of hypersonic missiles and billion-dollar radar systems is over. The battle for the Novyi Oskol substation now comes down to this: a handful of guards on a frozen rooftop, and a sound, a low, terrifying whistle cutting through the fog, a sound that gets louder with every passing millisecond. They can't see what's making it, but they know it's coming for them. They do the only thing they can. And they open fire. The night air erupts in a desperate, chaotic hail of AK-74 tracers spraying wildly into the gray nothingness. It is the textbook definition of futility. Trying to shoot down a 200-pound Mach 2.5 missile with a rifle is like trying to swat a bullet with a slingshot. It's not a fight. It's a prayer. And miles away, another prayer is going unanswered. Russian artillery continues to pound the empty patch of mud where the HIMARS launcher used to be, a multi-million-dollar temper tantrum against an enemy that is long gone. Each crater is a monument to how thoroughly they've been outplayed, a perfect illustration of the shoot-and-scoot doctrine's brutal effectiveness. In the Ukrainian bunker, the operator sees the guard's muzzle flashes through the shark's thermal camera. They are a nuisance, a variable that needs to be eliminated. He makes a final, ruthless calculation. The fog phantoms swarm. His tool of electronic deception is about to get a new job description. He peels one of the last FPV drones from its holding pattern. This isn't a $150,000 missile. It's a $400 3D printed kamikaze drone with a small anti-personnel charge zip-tied to its back. And here is the tactical genius: he is using a disposable asset to clear the path for an irreplaceable one. He won't risk his last two HIMARS missiles being knocked off course by a lucky rifle round. The FPV drone dives. The guards on the rooftop see it at the last second, a dark hornet-like shape emerging from the fog, not with a whistle, but with an angry buzz. It is the last thing they will ever see. The drone detonates and the rooftop goes silent. The last line of defense has been erased by the cheapest weapon on the battlefield. Now nothing stands in the way. The last two American-made HIMARS missiles, number 3 and No. 4, are completely, utterly unopposed. Below them, the Shark drone holds its laser painter steady, a perfect unwavering dot on the heart of the main transformer. At 4:35 a.m., the Shark drone's camera zooms in its laser painter holding a steady, perfect dot. The target comes into view: the Novyi Oskol substation, its massive transformers humming like sleeping bears. On a nearby rooftop, Russian guards are firing flares wildly into the sky, each one missing its non-existent target by a country mile. The Russians know the missiles are coming, they just have no idea how to stop them. That 500-ton station would need at least 20 seconds to initiate an emergency shutdown. The two remaining HIMARS missiles will be there in 50 milliseconds. Boom, then boom again. The impacts are less than a second apart, two perfectly placed strikes. But this isn't just an explosion, it's a high-speed physics class. That 200-pound American warhead doesn't just go bang. It's designed to penetrate 12 inches of reinforced concrete before it detonates. The first missile punches through the main transformer's protective shell. The second vaporizes the central switching hub. The shaped charges inside create a Monroe effect, focusing the entire blast into a jet of molten plasma moving at 7,000 feet per second. It rips through the station's hardened electrical wiring like a needle through paper. A catastrophic chain reaction begins: transformers explode, circuit breakers vaporize, a cascade of failures ripples through the system, sending sparks the size of cars arcing 100 feet into the night sky. Russia's military grid takes $1 billion hit, Ukraine's payback priceless. Now zoom out, the tactical victory is stunning, but the strategic impact is a checkmate. That single strike just erased 20% of the Belgorod military electrical grid. The S-400 triumph, the billion-dollar god of the skies. It's now a blind, useless scarecrow, the fuel depots that feed the Russian tank divisions in the Donbass. Their pumps are dead. The Russian war machine in this sector doesn't just have a bloody nose, it just had its spinal cord severed. This forces Russia to pull critical air defense systems away from the front lines, weakening their hold on places like the Donbass. It's the exact same economic warfare that has seen 16 of their oil refineries crippled, bleeding them of over 1 million barrels a day. From a bunker near Kharkiv, Ukrainian operators using American-made missiles and their own homegrown drones just turned a piece of Russia's energy empire into a blackout party. The lesson for today: don't poke a bear that knows how to hack, especially when that bear has HIMARS. If you believe in fighting smart, smash the like button and subscribe. And now for the big question: Ukraine has proven they can blind the S-400. What critical Russian asset should they target next with this strategy? The Kerch Bridge, a major command bunker. Let me know your top target in the comments below.